सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। कृष्ण कृष्णामनमोहना चित्तचोरा गोपी जीवना कृष्ण कृष्णामनमोहना चित्तचोरा गोपी जीवना वेणुधारी जगन्मोहना व्रजवासी नन्दनन्दना वेणुधारी जगन्मोहना व्रजवासी नन्दनन्दना कृष्ण कृष्णामनमोहना चित्तचोरा गोपी जीवना मेघश्यामा मधुसूदना राधाकान्ता यदुनन्दना मेघश्यामा मधुसूदना राधाकान्ता यदुनन्दना कृष्ण कृष्णामनमोहना चित्तचोरा गोपी जीवना चित्तचोरा गोपी जीवना। Om Namo Narayanaya. 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 Om Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Devvestavai Vedai Sangapadakrammo Panishadai Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantam na vidussura suragana Devaya tasmai namaha Devaya tasmai namaha. Humble prostrations. The next topic which we are dealing with is happiness based on the three modes. So what are the different types of happiness available in this world? So we have tamasic happiness, rajasic happiness and sattvic happiness. So first we will discuss sattvic happiness. So this comes in chapter 18, verse number 36 and 37. Sukham tvidanim trividham Shrunu me bharatarshapha Abhyasat ramate yatra Dukkhantam cha nigacchati Yattadagre vishamiva Pariname mritopamam Tatsukham satvikam proktam Atma buddhi prasadam. Yes. So first comes Sattvik Sukha. What is Sattvik Sukha? So, number one, Abhyasat Ramate Yatra. This is a Sukha where Abhyasa is necessary. Training is necessary. Practice is necessary. Nothing comes free. Number one. Abhyasam. By itself it will not come. You have to work for it. But then it is worth. Why is it so? Dukkhantam cha nigacchati. It will put an end to your sorrow. What kind of end? Permanent end. Not temporary. Dukkha antam cha nigacchati. This is point number 2. But the problem is yattat agre visham iva. In the beginning, the whole practice is like drinking poison. Very difficult. But Pariname amrutopamam. But in the end, the result is nectarian, like amrita. In the beginning, poisonous like. In the end, nectarian like. And this sukham is such, Atma Buddhi prasadajam. It will give you total fulfillment. Atma Buddhi prasadajam. Fulfillment at the intellect level, fulfillment at the spiritual level. So this is Sattvika Sukha. So what kind of happiness is this? So this happiness is born out of discipline. When the mind is disciplined, when the sense organs are disciplined, there is a joy. Joy born out of discipline. Now disciplining, is it joyous or sorrowful? Whenever we hear this term, discipline, it's a problem. That is why it is said, Vishamiva in the beginning. But once you have made that discipline a habit, then it is Amritam. Isn't it? All these drug addicts and chain smokers and drunkards, etc. That stopping it, it is like Vishamiva. They become miserable. But once they have stopped, once they have come out of it, then Amritam. So anything in life, any joy worth having, this is the nature. Any joy. Getting up early in the morning. How is it? Agre Visham. But once it has become habit, then what will happen? You don't have to struggle. Automatically, at that time, you wake up. Pariname amrutam. Even if you want to sleep, you can't. Because the body has used to a particular timing. The body clock has got adjusted. After that, it is very easy. But that initial state, that everything in life. Suppose every day you make it a habit to exercise or jog or doing yoga, pranayama. Agre Visham. But once you have made it a habit, in fact, you don't have to make it a habit also. You just start. In the end, say after 1 hour of workout, how do you feel? There is a sense of fulfillment. Yes, I have done what I am supposed to do. There is a fulfillment. You see, workout may be Visham, struggle, stress, etc. But after that, there is a sense of fulfillment. So God has put in every creative thing. This is how it is. In the beginning, Visham. In the end, Amritam. Everything. Now the term used is beautiful. Atma Buddhi prasadajam is the term used. A beautiful term is used here. The term used is prasadam. What is prasadam? How do you define prasadam? We all eat prasadam, but define prasadam also. No, Swamiji, it depends upon with what you make it. I am not talking of that eating prasadam. There is a higher prasadam. How do you define prasadam? How do you define prasadam? Prasadam means that which comes from the Lord. That is called as prasadam. That which comes from the Lord. For example, you offer naivedyam to the Lord, and once naivedyam is offered, the very same naivedyam becomes prasadam. That which comes from God is called prasadam. Atma Buddhi prasadam. That joy, jam, born of. Prasada means what? Which comes from Bhagavan. So what comes from Bhagavan? Buddhi prasadajam, Atma prasadajam. What comes is a sense of fulfillment. So what he said here, that sense of fulfillment cannot be duplicated. That sense of fulfillment is coming from a divine source. When you do what you are supposed to do, that fulfillment comes as a result, as an effect. When you live a sattvic life, then out of that sattvic life comes sattvic happiness. And where is it coming? You cannot duplicate it. You cannot duplicate it means what? You cannot say, okay, now I close my eyes and imagine that I am peaceful. I imagine that peace cannot be imagined. Please understand this. If you think peace can be imagined and gained, that is your vain imagination. Okay. Peace has to be earned. You have to earn it. There is a price to be paid. And what is the price? Living a noble life. Whatever you are convinced of, Buddhi is the term used here. Buddhi prasadajam. If I am convinced that this is right, this must be done, this is what is good for me, this will elevate me. If there is something which you are convinced of, then live it. While living it, what will be the experience? Visham. Because there is a struggle. Why there is a struggle? There is a struggle because you are struggling against your own negative habits. I have been living a wrong way, an indulgent way. And now after studying the scriptures, after listening to satsang, I come to know that there is a higher way. The way I am living is a lower way, there is a higher way. So when I am trying to lift myself, there is always this pull downwards. What is this pull? The pull of my habits, wrong habits. Every seeker has to go through this stage. Everyone has to go through this. Because the initial part of our life, generally we live not guided by the scriptures. It is generally a life guided by our vasanas. But then, at some stage of our life, scriptural knowledge comes. And then scriptures make us to think. Satsang make us to think. And when we think, we come to know, oh, the path which I have taken is wrong. There is a better path, right path. But by then I have already walked the wrong path for a long time. Vasanas are there, habits are there, impressions are there, inclination, wrong tendencies are there. Now these habits have to be broken. So on one side my mind is pulled towards my wrong habits. On the other side, intellect is pulling me towards right living. So what happens there? A struggle happens. This is called Visham. What is this poison? This struggle is that poison. Every step towards evolution is going to be difficult. Because you are lifting yourself from the present state of imperfection to a higher state of perfection. Lifting means you are working against something. You are working against the gravity of your vasanas. So there is a struggle. In fact, it is this struggle which is making you stronger. So in every field, if you have to elevate yourself, there is a struggle. That is a price you have to pay, and it is this struggle which will make you strong. And after that, the strength becomes your nature. That is Amritam. The struggle is Visham. The strength you gain is amrutam. That becomes yours. So, agre visham pariname amrutam. And how do you experience that amrutam? As peace, as fulfillment, as control over the senses, as control over the mind. Mastery. This mastery is amrutam. And greater the mastery, greater the freedom. Because all your instruments are under your control means what? You are more free. That freedom is amrutam. All right. So when you live this righteous path, there is a prasadam experienced, a fulfillment. And where is it coming from? It is coming from Bhagavan. That is why the term prasadam is used. In fact, this joy is a glimpse of the spiritual joy. What is the nature of Atma? Sat, Chit, Anand. Every time you are moving towards Atma, what would happen to the Ananda content? It should increase. Isn't it? Every time you move away from Atma, what should happen to Ananda content? It should decrease. The decreasing of Ananda when you go away from Atma is what we experience as disturbance in the mind. So when we go away from Atma, when do we go away from Atma? Always you will find when you are going outward. When the attention goes extroverted. When we get pulled by the sense objects. That is when we go away from us. Atma means God. Atma means the self, I. The more and more I am able to control my mind, my senses, I am going within. I am residing in myself. And the nature of the self is Ananda. To the extent I go nearer to myself, to that extent I experience Ananda. And this is called Amrita Anubhavam. Experience of bliss. Experience of immortality. But how does it come? Abhyasat. Regular practice. So what is the inspiration? Every time you practice, a glimpse of the joy you experience. That glimpse of joy inspires you to put forth higher effort. Greater effort, greater joy. Greater joy, greater effort. Effort, joy, effort, joy. This way we climb. Now this sattvic happiness is the best happiness because dukkhantam cha nigacchati. Dukkha antam happens. It's an end of sorrow. It is not temporary end. It is a permanent end. The sorrows end permanently. Right. So this is sattvic joy. Now let us come to rajasic joy. Verse number 38, chapter 18. Vishayendriya sanyogat yat tadagre mrutopamam pariname vishamiva tat sukham rajasam smritam. Rajasic joy. What is its nature? Vishayendriya sanyogat. The joy born when the sense organs contact with the sense objects. That joy. And what is its nature? Generally, it is agre amrutopamam. In the beginning, amrutam, when you indulge. Pariname, what is the end result? Visham. Just the opposite of sattva. And how is it born? Vishendriya sanyogat. Vishaya and Indriya, when they come together, this joy is born. Right? When the junk food is eaten, at eating time, there is a wonderful joy. Amrutam it is, amrutam. But pariname, you see, rajasic joy. The joy born out of indiscipline of the sense organs is Rajasic joy. The joy born out of disciplining the senses is Sattvic joy. Now see, in Rajasic joy there is no effort at all. No abhyasa is necessary. It's like duck taken to water. No effort. Like the rock falling down the hill. No effort. Effortless joy. Remember, any cheap joy, you will have to pay a heavy price. No pain, no gain. Correct? So if there is free gain, there is something which you are losing. Bhagavan Shankaracharya writes a commentary. Why do you say that these sense pleasures are visham? Generally, whenever such discussion happens, people just get up and go away. They can't even listen to it. Forget about practicing it. Bhagavan Shankaracharya in his commentary writes, why is it called visham? Bala, virya, रूप, प्रज्ञा, मेधा, धन, उत्साह, हानि हेतुत्वात्, अधर्म जनित नरकादि हेतुत्वात् विषम. Bhagavan Shankaracharya is blunt. He doesn't care whether you like it or not. A fact is a fact. Full stop. What happens when we indulge? What is this visham? You see, all these things you are going to lose. What is it? Bala, physical strength. Virya, mental strength. Rupa, even your physical beauty also. Prajna, intelligence. Medha, memory. Dhana, wealth. Utsaha, enthusiasm, inspiration, the cheerful state of mind. Hani hetutvat. Not only that, adharma janita. Very many times these people who are addicted to these sense pleasures, they will have to do adharma to gain that pleasure. That is the nature. They will have to use corrupt means. Because the nature of this pleasure is such that it starts craving, that addiction becomes more and more. Greater and greater slavery. And then the normal means of livelihood will not be sufficient. And slowly that person starts corrupt practices, immoral practices. So therefore, adharma janita narakadi hetutvat. Not only that, in this world that person, he goes through naraka, hell, even afterwards also. Remember, we are always living in our mind. Remove this notion that we are living in this world. In this hall, we are all sitting. As far as the external world is concerned, it is the same. But as far as the mind is concerned, each one is possessing a different mind. And where are we living? In our mind, in our thoughts. So if those thoughts are noble and good and divine, you are in heaven, no doubt. If the thoughts are disturbed, agitated, full of worry and anxiety, then you are in hell. You see? So therefore, with such addictions, slavery, what am I doing? I am creating a hell for myself. That's why it is called as visham. Bhagavan in the 5th chapter also says the same thing. 5th chapter, verse number 22. Yehi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkhayonaya evate adyantavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. Any bhoga which is samsparshaja, samsparsha, coming in contact, sense organs coming in contact with the sense objects. With this, whatever pleasure is generated, happiness is generated. What is it? These pleasures are dukkha yoni. Yoni means womb. Dukkha yonaya. it will bring out only sorrows. And the tragedy of this joy is adya antavantaha. There is a beginning, there is an end. So as long as you are indulging, there is joy. Once the indulgence is over, that sense pleasure is over. What about sattvic joy? It is ever there. It is ever there. Adyantavanta kaunteja nateshu ramate buddha. Wise people don't revel in such pleasures. Right. So naturally a question may come, how to win over these addictions? So therefore the answer given in spirituality is, you cannot win over the lower addictions unless you are exposed to higher joys. So in spirituality we don't talk about suppression. We talk about sublimation. What is suppression? I come to understand that yes, these lower pleasures are defective. I'm going to drain away all my vitalities, this, that, etc. I understand. Therefore, what I do, I stop indulging. But at the same time, I don't expose mind to the higher joy. Then what will happen? Mind is no more gaining the lower joys. At the same time, it is not exposed to the higher joys also. This state is what is called as suppression. In spirituality, we don't talk about suppression. No, that is not the way. Anything which is suppressed will explode. Because it's an energy. Any energy suppressed will someday or the other explode. In that suppression, willpower is necessary. Every time you will not have the power of the will. And when the willpower is weak, gone. So that person who has controlled himself will indulge like a pig. Because all the samskaras are there. Always you will find, especially when you are fasting, the next day when you eat, just see, you will eat more than the 3 times which you are used to eat. The senses are like that. The moment you control it, if you see that bow, you are pulling the bow only a little. But when you release it, where does it go? In the same way, when you restrain your senses, and then when you release it, this is what happens when suppression is done. Generally, in spirituality, the beginners do this mistake. They try to suppress because they hear from all satsang, etc., that senses should be controlled and this and that. Then they do all that. Few days it's okay. But then slowly, when the satsang inspiration is gone, then slowly the senses start. So then what is the solution? The solution is sublimation. What is sublimation? Just focus more and more upon exposing the mind to the higher joys. What are the higher joys? The sattvic joy, the spiritual joy, the joy born out of selfless activity, the joy born out of devotion, the joy born out of spiritual discussion, the joy born out of right thinking. No, they are all the higher joys. The joy born out of egolessness, the joy born out of surrender. So the more and more we are exposed to these higher joys, slowly what happens is mind comes to know this is a defect-free joy, a more fulfilling joy, a permanent joy. Once the mind gets educated in this way, it is able to drop the lower one. And it's a gradual process. Slowly you will find the mind dropping the lower. How do you know that the mind is dropping the lower? the stickiness reduces. Earlier, when you think of things, the mind used to get drowned in that particular thought. Now you are able to think and you are able to withdraw the mind at ease with respect to a thing, being, or a situation. How easily you are able to withdraw the mind from different situations. That shows that that mind has become healthy. Healthy mind is able to think of a topic and stop thinking of the topic when it is not needed. Both. Many times people think that worrying about a thing is actually thinking about a thing. Thinking and worrying appear to be very similar. But what is the difference? Thinking is sattvic, worrying is rajasic. When you are thinking or contemplating about a subject, you choose when to start contemplation, you choose when to stop contemplation. There is a freedom. Sattvic happiness is always related to freedom, always related to mastery. What about worrying? In worrying also it appears that we are thinking about something. We are trying to find a solution. But it's a delusion. You are worrying, you are anxious. You think you are thinking. It is not thinking, it is worrying. How to test whether am I worrying or thinking? How to test? Try to stop thinking. From now onwards, I am not going to think about the subject. Sit down quietly. How easily you are able to put a full stop to that thinking. If you are not able to put a full stop, understand you are. And what is the end result of worry? Stress. Depression. They're all the signs. A person who is in this rajasic mode, he will not be able to control his thoughts. He will not be able to control his sense organs. The very understanding about life is faulty. And that is why it is said, Pariname Visham. End result is addiction. End result is misery. A person who indulges in rajasic pleasures, that mind is not a mature mind. What is a sign of maturity? There is a sense object in front. A mature mind, what does it see? The initial pleasure or the final pain? Every sense object, when you indulge, there is an initial pleasure and there is a final pain. Final permanent pain. Initial impermanent joy. Initial impermanent superficial joy. Final permanent deep pain. That's how the sense objects are designed by the compassionate Lord. When I see a sense object, what am I seeing? The initial pleasure or the final pain? That is an indication of maturity of the mind. If I am seeing the initial pleasure, mind is immature. But if I am able to see the final pain, mind is a mature mind. Because if you are seeing pain there, will you go and indulge? No. You see? These are all the freedoms enjoyed by a sattvic mind. And they are all subtle, subtle wealth. It's called as Devi Sampat. The real wealth is not the outer wealth. The real wealth is this inner wealth, subjective wealth, silent wealth which only you know. Others don't know. This is a real wealth. How much your mind is under your control. Okay. Now what is this tamasic state? Let us see. This is verse number 39, chapter 18. Yadagre chanubandhe cha sukham mohanam nidralasya pramadotham tattamasamudahrutam. Yes, there is a joy in tamas also. In fact, tamasic joy is a wonderful joy. Agre anubandhecha sukham. In the beginning also he thinks he is happy. In the end also he thinks he is happy. And he many times misunderstands that this is sattvic happiness. This is called mohanam, deluding. Sukham mohanam atmanah. Highly deluding. He is actually miserable, but he thinks he is happy. And you can't make him understand also. Because tamas and ajnana go together. He is miserable, but he thinks he is happy. There's a saying, the greatest enemy of freedom is a comfortable slave. The greatest enemy of freedom, who? A slave who is very happy. If the slave is happy, who will fight for freedom? This tamas is of that nature. This person thinks he is happy. And therefore, there is no effort involved. He will never put forth any effort because he thinks he is happy. And what is this joy? Nidra alasya pramada. The joy born out of nidra, sleep. The joy born out of carelessness. This carelessness also has a joy. Huh? Have you ever thought of it? Have you ever thought of it? The joy born out of irresponsibility. What is the joy there? What is the joy of irresponsibility? I don't have to pay attention. Because paying attention is strain. I am free from that strain of paying attention, of being alert. You see, there is a joy. Have you ever thought of it? Being alert, it is strenuous. Paying attention, there is a strain. Being irresponsible, being careless, there is a joy. And he thinks it is a joy. But is it a joy? When you are careless, will that joy of carelessness remain forever? In the process, some blunder you will do, and you have to pay a heavy price for it. Yes or no? Carelessness, irresponsibility, laziness, indifference. They may appear to be joy, but actually it is nothing but pain. But this fellow doesn't understand it. And therefore it is said, Agre sukham, anubandhe sukham. For whom? For him. Mohanam. Therefore the term is used, deluding. It is far better to be miserable in knowledge than be peaceful in ignorance. See, that is why Rajasic Sukham is better than Tamasic Sukham. Why Rajasic Sukham is better? Agre Visham, there is a suffering. In the beginning he indulges, there is joy, but in the end he suffers, and that suffering will definitely make that person introspective. Always you will find that when do you become introspective? When you suffer. When you go through pain. When you go through pain, you are at your highest peak of alertness. You can't be lazy and suffering, no. When the suffering happens. So therefore, Rajasic is better because that pain in the end will make that person introspective. And whenever that introspection happens, he comes to know that somewhere he is making wrong, and then he will correct himself. So that possibility is there in Rajas. The possibility to correct oneself. Whereas in Tamas, that possibility is not there. The fellow is happy in the beginning, the fellow is happy in the end. When will it turn around? There is no way. Therefore, the tamasic happiness is the worst happiness. Now here one more thing has to be said. Though it is said nidra, now don't think that, then because everybody has to sleep. You see, the sleep also has got 3 types. That is, this explanation also is necessary. There is a sattvic sleep, there is a rajasic sleep, and there is a tamasic sleep. What is a sattvic sleep? It is a sleep which is essential. No doubt it is tamasic, but in that tamas also there is a sattva. For example, refreshing sleep is a sattvic sleep. It is necessary. That sleep is made blissful deliberately by God so that you will lie down for 8 hours. Just imagine, suppose that sleep is miserable. If the nature of sleep is misery, will anybody sleep? So Bhagavan has deliberately put some joy in it. Even in tamasic joy, it is a joy because it is necessary. So sattvic sleep is a dreamless sleep. It is a deep sleep. It is a refreshing sleep. So sattvic sleep is always preferable. What about a rajasic sleep? What is its nature? Full of dreams. There the mind is not getting full rest. There is a dreaming means mind is still active. Mind is still active means mind is not fully resting. That is rajasic sleep. What about tamasic sleep? The more you sleep, the more you feel like sleeping. You don't want to get up from bed. That's how it is expressed. You just lie down. You know that there is no sleep, but still you don't want to get up. It's a terrible thing. So that kind of nidra is being mentioned here. Okay. Alasyam is there with that nidra. So the worst is tamasic. Always try to come out of this tamasic happiness. How to come out of tamasic happiness? Can you directly come from tamasic happiness to sattvic happiness? Impossible. If you try that, you will again come back to tamasic happiness. For example, you try to meditate when you are having tamasic happiness. You are dull, you are sleepy, you are not fresh. At that time you try to meditate. Will that meditation work? It won't. So nobody can go from tamas to sattva. Then what is the way? Tamas to rajas. Get up, be active, do some exercise, it will go away. After that you can go to sattva. That is the way. Many times people make this mistake also. From tamas they try to go to sattva. It won't work. And then in the seat of meditation you will doze off. And you misunderstand that that is a perfect meditation. That is tamas. At the seat of meditation you sleep and you get refreshed and you think that it's a... Swamiji, today's meditation was excellent, Swamiji. That is tamas. Mohanam, deluding. Okay. In your meditation, if throughout you have not been alert and vigilant, then that means it was never a meditation. Because in meditation you are meditating upon the self, upon God, and what is his nature? Sat, Chit. Chit means consciousness. Chit means alertness. Chit means awareness. Chit means knowledge. You must be knowing. Knowing has to happen. Knowing the state of being is meditation. If somewhere that knowing has stopped, that means it is only sleeping. So this is tamasic. And you will always find that the more and more you train the mind to be in the sattvic mode, more effortlessly you are able to come out of tamas. Very effortless. And also you will find the more and more you are in sattvic mode, you clearly know when you are in rajasic mode, when you are in tamasic mode. There's another great benefit. If a person who is most of the time remaining in tamasic mode, this discussion itself will not help them. Even to appreciate that these three modes exist, even to appreciate it, there should be some amount of sattva. Otherwise, it's not possible. This sattvic happiness is an integrating happiness. What do you mean by integrating happiness? It is that state where your mind and intellect both becomes integrated. Sattvic happiness is always like that. What do you mean by integration? We have discussed it many times. So there is something which I like to do. There is something which is right. So sattvic happiness, always you will find that I love what is right. That is called as integration. Generally, what is our condition? I love what is not right. I don't like what is right. This is generally of the rajasic category. Sattvic happiness is always an integrating happiness. As you grow in this sattvic happiness, as more and more this sattvic mood becomes your nature, a time comes when mind and intellect becomes one. Whatever is right, you love doing it. Whatever is wrong, you hate doing it. The struggle becomes less. That is amrutam. Now, another point also has to be discussed here. In the rajasic happiness it is said, Vishayendriya Sanyogat. The joy born out of Vishaya Indriya Sanyoga. Sense objects coming in contact with sense organs. Can we say that any contact is rajasic? Joy born out of any contact of the sense organs with the sense objects. Can we say it is rajasic? No. Jihve kirtaya keshavam muraripum Cheto bhaja sridharam Panidvandva samarchayachyuta katha Shrotradvayam tvam shrunu Krishnam lokayalochana hare Gacchangri yugmalayam Jighragrana mukunda pada tulasi Murdhanna madhokshajam. What does this verse say? O sense organs. O sense organs, take yourself, meditate upon the beauty of the Lord. Jihve kirtaya keshavam. O tongue, chant the name of the Lord. Cheto bhaja sridharam. O mind, meditate upon that Lord. Pani dvandva, 2 hands, samarchaya, worship the Lord. Shrotradvaya, 2 ears, listen to the glories of the Lord. O eyes, see the beautiful form of the Lord. O legs, take yourself to the worshipful places, Tirtha Kshetras. O nose, smell the fragrant tulsi leaves offered at the feet of the Lord. O head, bow down to the Lord. Now what are we doing here? Isn't it Vishaya Indriya Sanyoga? You see. So don't become Lakir ke Fakir. You know what is Lakir ke Fakir? Lakir means line. Fakir means an expert. Whatever is written there, that is true. That is called Lakir ke Fakir. You don't think. The sense organs by themselves, they are not dangerous. But if those sense organs are directed towards God, towards the self, it can be used. Chanting the name of the Lord, sense organ you are using. But what is the direction? Direction is within. Then the sense organs becomes a blessing. Otherwise, sense organs are dangerous. So make use of the sense organs to go towards the self. We have studied Kathopanishad. What is that verse? Paranchi khani vyatranat swayambhu tasmat parang pashyate nantaratman. We have studied it some few months back. I hope you remember. You remember? Yes. The senses are extroverted. Paranchi khani. God has killed the sense organs by making it extroverted. God has cursed the sense organs by making it extroverted. And therefore, what is our nature? Parang pashyate, na antaratman. Everybody is looking outside. These cursed senses take us away from outside. Kaschid dhiraha, very rare few. Pratyagatmanam aikshat. Avritta chakshuhu, very, very, very rare few. They look within. And what do they gain? Immortality. Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, Atma Shabda Vachasya Atmanaha Apakarakasya. Bhagavan Shankaracharya, one small word. Lot of things. These sense organs, we say it is ours. Atma Shabda Vachasya. These sense organs, eyes, etc., we say it is ours. But what are they doing? Apakarakasya. They are our greatest enemies. Taking away from ourselves. Though we say they are ours, but actually they are our greatest enemies. Because they make us believe that we are mortals. They make us believe that we are finite. They make us believe that we are imperfect. They make us believe we are jivatmas. So therefore, the sense organs are our greatest enemy. So therefore, a sattvic person indulges only in sattvic happiness. What is the nature of sattvic happiness? Happiness born out of the meditation of the self or God. Happiness born out of sense discipline, mind discipline. Happiness born out of peaceful state of mind. Happiness independent of the sense objects. Happiness which gives you mastery and doesn't make you a slave. All such happiness, the spiritual joys, this is what he calls as sattvic happiness. So if you want to increase the sattva content in you, what you should do? More and more we should revel in sattvic happiness. We have to decrease that rajasic happiness and tamasic. More and more you start reveling in sattvic happiness, the sattva content will increase. Sattvic mood will increase. You will slowly become a sattvic person. This is what you have to do. This is the sadhana to be done. Now tomorrow we will take up food. Again food. What are the three types? The food also has a role to play. Okay. Food. And the sadhanas like charity, etc. There is something called sattvic charity, rajasic charity, and tamasic charity. Those two topics we will take up tomorrow. Atma Ramananda Ramana Achyuta Keshava Hari Narayana Achyuta Keshava Hari Narayana Bhava Bhaya Harana Vandita Charana Raghukula Bhushana Rajiva Lochana Adi Narayana Ananta Shayana Adi Narayana Ananta Shayana Sachidananda Satya Narayana Sachidananda Satya Narayana Bhava Bhaya Harana Vandita Charana Raghukula Bhushana Rajiva Lochana Atma Ramananda Ramana Ananda Ramana Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om